two quick ones from me. You're the first female Premier to lead Victoria since Joan Kerno. Has it dawned upon you in the half an hour that you've come downstairs from the caucus room that fact? And what style of government will you seek to lead? Will you make changes to the public service and reform the Premier's office, which currently most decisions through under the Daniel Andrews government have funneled through that structure? Will you seek to empower ministers more, such as how the Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has done?
So, Simon, on the second part of your question, as you've pointed out, it's been a mere minutes since we've had our caucus meeting, and I also flagged I will be having more to say about policy priorities over the coming days and weeks as we go through the process of swearing in a new cabinet, a new fabulous minister, a new cabinet that will necessitate some reallocation of portfolios. So if you can give me a little bit of time in terms of coming back, in terms of signalling some of those policy changes, that in turn will also potentially see some other machinery of government changes that we will work through in the usual way. And there's also a process that needs to be followed in terms of receiving incoming briefings from the Department of Premier and Cabinet, because there's a lot to do. There's a lot to do, and I absolutely intend to hit the ground running in terms of continuing the work that's underway. We've got that enormous, important housing statement that was released just a week ago. Just a week ago, many of us were together in Kensington talking about the most important and critical issue for the Victorian community right now, which is how do we build more homes, more affordable homes, more quickly. And so they're the sorts of things we'll continue to push on, but there will be some other important policy priorities that I'll touch on in the days and weeks ahead. In terms of the question around Joan was a wonderful mentor and support to so many of us, and I think it's fair to say men and women across the Labor movement. So it's not lost on me that I am only the second woman to lead this state, and that is also comes with some emotion, but also I did hope I'd get through this without becoming emotional. I also hope it says too, young women, older women, women from across different backgrounds of all parts of the state, that leadership takes on different shapes and sizes. And leadership, women have a role, have a place in leaders in our community, whether it's in politics, running local community groups, being a small business person, running big corporations, running a farm. Women have a place to be recognised as leaders in all of these roles across our community. And I hope too that it sends in some way a message to younger women. I know along my journey young women have talked to me about my journey and how they can learn from that. Hopefully learn from some of the slings and arrows and not have that repeated, but also too how they can see that leadership does come in different shapes and sizes, and there is a place for women at every single table, at every single decision-making table, in every single organisation around this state.
We're talking about working under Brax and Brumby and also Daniel Andrews. They had very different leadership styles. This isn't your first leadership position, but how would you describe your leadership style and what do you want to bring to the role?
Yeah, look, clearly every leader is different. The three leaders you've referred to, Annika, John, Steve and Daniel, all brought their own style to it. And I guess I say over time the Victorian community will see me bring a very different style, one that is built on those values that I talked about, the values of hard work, the values about equality of opportunity, the values around supporting working families, supporting our beautiful natural environment. So they will be the values I will bring to the role. And then as we shape it, as I work collegiately with colleagues, as I have done, we worked, and I refer again to the housing statement, with a group of colleagues, we worked incredibly hard over the course of this year to shape the housing statement that was released last week, and that required that collegiality, that bringing together of different parts of government, complex issues, challenging issues. So I think that gives you a sense of the work that I've done to date in terms of working closely with colleagues in a collegiate way, but also too, I find the best decision making is also centred on getting out and about, talking to people. Just a day or so ago, on as I say, I'm losing a little bit of track of time. It was just yesterday. I was in Sunshine, meeting with the local community leaders there about the opportunities around Sunshine. So getting out and about is where also I'll be continuing to do that and wanting to do more of that to make sure we're not just listening but taking on board the issues that are important to Victorians, so they can see that action being taken.